where to start. Hayes was always kind of just at the center of things.
That boy Hayes. That boy Hayes. That boy.
He was always just like a great presence.
He was just like the man.
He was always thinking about other people.
He was just such a caring person.
He would just light up a room.
He was larger than life.
Well, I always think of Hayden as like a light. Everyone gravitated towards him because he just had a way about him that included everybody, and he was so loud and just energetic and joyful.
Every day you come to the rink excited to see Hayden, excited to go on the ice with Hayden, joke around with Hayden. He was just he was the man.
He was just such a caring person that just constantly was bringing people together. He was super engaging, and even people he didn't know really well, he made them feel like you guys were best friends.
I knew Hayden since I was about 8 or 9, and he was the nicest kid ever. Sometimes it's harder and even maybe impossible to just recognize that someone's mentally or emotionally not okay.
Definitely an unimaginable situation. And it's one of those things that's so extreme that it's such an unimaginable outlier type event. Like, there's no way you could ever have any idea how you would react to such a thing. Those first few months went by a bit of a blur, I guess you'd say. Because again, there's nothing you could make sense of. Is this, I suppose it's probably a little bit of the is this really happening phase in the beginning. Yeah, no, it's done every day. It was like a massive roller coaster. I had taken this pause, said I wasn't going to try and answer any questions for the first few months, and then about 3 months in, I just sat down with a piece of paper, and the very first thing that I wrote down on the piece of paper was hand on a shoulder. And that's what we realized we were qualified to do, is talk about who Hayden was. We received all these letters, and all these stories were shared with us in aftermath, and everybody said, Hayes was always there for me. This is actually on his last day. He got on the bus to come home from school, and one of the guys that he normally sat with was sitting in the front of the bus. He had had a bad day. Hayes stopped on the way in, put his hand on the kid's shoulder and said, "Hey man, you good?" And they said, "Nah, I'm not really feeling it today." I said, "Well, why don't you come back and hang out with me?" And invited him, and they rode home together. That's just who Hayden was. Someone had asked, around the dinner table or whatever it was, who's going to do what Hayden did for us? And the idea behind Shoulder Check is the answer to that is we all will, right? We can all reach out and put our hands on other people's shoulders, check in, see how they're doing.
I want to welcome you to the first ever Shoulder Check Showcase.
It's a tribute to Hayden to an extent that he was able to motivate such a diverse group of people to come together and kind of carry a banner forward a little bit.
From the New York Rangers, number 20, Chris Kreider.
Everyone's got fighting their own battles, carrying their own cross, so you never really know what that is, but kind of getting out of your own head and checking in on the people around you. The foundation talks about a very small thing, but a very big thing in the grand scheme of things.
We had hoped to create a special moment there where people would feel what it means to be supported and surrounded by people who cared.
1, 2, 3. Reach out. Reach out. Check in. Check in. Make contact. Make contact.
That's who Hayden was in our lives and in the lives of everyone who knew him. That's what we've felt since this has happened. It's picked us up and lifted us up.
You know, the shoulder check it's reaching out to your teammates, just making sure that even the happiest kids are still doing all right and they're not hiding anything.
Mental health is a really serious thing, and I think that it's not always focused on so much. It's kind of like pushed to the side, and people can be a little embarrassed to speak about that. And I think this initiative is very important to get everyone to feel comfortable to speak about what's going on and the struggles that they have. And I think this whole initiative that we have is really helping to do that.
Knowing you have to check in on them no matter what, even if they don't seem hurt, like you have to, you know, hold yourself to that and commit to that, to check in on your friends.
You know, there's this thing that's out there now, like this notion where it's okay to not be okay, right? Like that's, I think, starting to be a phrase that people use. And this other phrase that goes with it, it says that you're not alone. And this idea is meant to just complete that statement, like you're not alone because I'm here with you. You know, that's the thing that I can do. That's the thing that you can do. That's the thing that everybody can do. Just say that I'm here with you. So in a way, that's where we found we could add something to the conversation, right? No one's alone because we're all here for each other. Get in there. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Great seeing you.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.